Good morning. We'll start session 4 on chapter Is Matter Around the Sphere. In our previous class, we understood about different properties of solutions, types of solution. We understood what is a solute, what is a solvent, which will be in the greater quantity. That means solvent will always be in the larger amount than the solute. We also studied about saturation and unsaturated point of a solution. That means to what point when the solute will stop dissolving in water, we understood that, which comes under concentration of a solution, which we need to understand. So, to understand concentration of a solution, we have to understand what is saturated solution and unsaturated solution. So, in today's class, we'll start with what is concentration of a solution. Now, basically, when we talk about concentration, we all talk about concentrated syrup, right? So, what is there in the concentrated syrup? So, whatever content what we add, that is solute what we add. So, first let's understand the definition. Now, basically, we know that solute plus solvent will give us solution. The concentration of the solution is the amount of solute present in a given amount in terms of mass or volume. We'll discuss of mass and volume later of a solution. I repeat, the concentration of the solution is the amount of solute present in a given amount of solution. Now that means, imagine I give you a glass of water mixed with 2 spoons of sugar, right? And to another friend, I give another glass of water mixed with 5 spoons of sugar. Now that means, whose sugar solution is more concentrated? Example of the another friend, because I have dissolved more amount of solute in it. The concentration of the solution is the amount of solute present in the given amount of water. So we can actually calculate the concentration of the solution. That means what amount of solute I have added in the water, I can actually measure that. How to measure? We measure it by 2 methods. 2 methods of finding concentration of a solution. One is by mass percentage method. Another is by mass by volume percentage. Now here, what methods I have told you, there are some numericals based on these methods. So in our class here, today's class, we will only understand about the method and about the formula to calculate concentration of the solution. Wherein numericals, we will be doing it once we start with our regular classes. So let's understand the 2 methods of calculating concentration of a solution. Now, as I told, it is first is mass by mass method and second is mass by volume method. In first method, when I talk about, I can find concentration of the solution using mass of the solution. Now, I have written C is nothing but concentration of a solution here. Mass of the solute divided by mass of the solution in terms of 100. Now, what is mass of the solute? Mass of the solution, as I have told, you will have numericals based on these formulas to find the concentration, where in the given question, mass of solute is given or solvent is given, you have to find the mass of solution. Now, here we only understand the formulas. We will not touch the numericals. We will do the numericals once we start with our regular classes. So, mass of solute divided by mass of the solution into 100. This is by mass method. In case if it is asked to find mass by volume method, just see what's the difference. Mass of the solute divided by mass of the solution in terms of 100. I have also written here solvent. In some books, it is given as mass of the solvent into 100. How is solvent different from solution now? Now see here, when we say solute plus solvent is equal to solution, then I have written solution here and solvent here. Why? Because we are finding mass. Now for example, I take glass of water and I add 1 spoon sugar in it, right? When I want to find the mass, that means I have added some solute to the solvent. Mass of the solute is also countable, mass of the solvent is also countable. That will give me mass of the solution, that is mass. When I talk about volume, volume is something space occupied. Okay. If I take let me take half glass now. I take half glass of water and 1 spoon of sugar if I add. When we mix it thoroughly, do you think the volume of the water will increase or the volume of the solution will increase? Do you think so? Will it increase? No, it will not increase. Volume remains the same. Yes? Please try this. Take a measuring glass if you have it at home. As I told you, this chapter when we deal with, we have all simple experiments which we can even use it, the things available at home itself, right? Take a small measuring glass where you measure the water and add in it, add some sugar, add some salt which can dissolve in it. So once it dissolves, check if the volume has increased. Volume will not increase. That is why, assume that this is sugar here. I have taken solute and this will become now sugar solution, right? What is solvent here? Solvent is water. That means mass of the, I'm so sorry, this is not mass, this is volume. Yeah, I made a mistake. Volume of the solvent or volume of the solute will remain the same. That will not change. So these two formulas, as I told you, will only remember that. We'll solve that later. So this was about concentration of a solution. Now again we'll go back to the previous one what we had studied about mixture. Solution, colloidal solution, that is true solution, colloidal solution and suspension. Now here we have completed with true solution thoroughly. We understood about solute, we understood about solvent which gives us a solution. There we also understood what are the different phases. That means solid in solid is solid, liquid in solid is again liquid, liquid in gas is again liquid. In our yesterday's class, in different phases how it means and what solution we get, what example. And we understood in this part about concentration of the solution. So we have thoroughly completed about true solution here. Now left over is colloidal solution and suspension, to know few of its still more properties. Colloidal solution when we talk about, now for example as I told you, milk is a colloidal solution, right? So such colloidal solutions or paint can also be emulsion. There are so many examples of colloidal solution. In these colloidal solution, we also have some particles and medium. Like for example, if I have taken this, solute is the particle. I am adding some sugar particles, assume. Solvent is water. That means solvent is the medium. I am adding this in this. Am I right? So I get a solution. Similarly here, we have different phases. In colloidal solution, we have dispersed phase. That is nothing but particles. And we have dispersed medium. That means in medium, we are adding those particles. Means what type of a colloidal solution will I get? That we have to find out. Yes. Similar in a tabular form like yesterday how we have done to find a solution, that we'll find here. Suppose for example, if the dispersed medium is liquid, if the dispersed phase is also liquid, what is the type of solution obtained? Yes, we will find out that. Then last part we have suspension. Suspended particle, suspended medium. Now what could be suspended particle? Chalk could be a suspended particle, right? Sand could be a suspended particle. What is a medium? Water is a medium, correct? So suspended particles and suspended medium. Suspension becomes very simple to understand because there is no much phases in them. They are clearly visible. There comes a confusion in colloidal solution only. To understand what is the phase and what is the medium, in phase when we add medium comes out to be what type of a solution. Yes, that we will understand through a tabular column now. Okay, so now we'll see some common examples of colloidal solution. So before I take you all to this, again let me recall. So in our previous class, what we had actually, so what did we do? I said that if I have a glass of water that is liquid, I am adding 2 spoons of particles. Example, a glass of liquid adding 2 spoons of gas in it. So what is the type of solution obtained? Type of solution obtained is also a liquid. Example, carbonated water, soda, what we call. So even here we have to assume it in the similar way, right? But here we have it in the form of dispersed phase, which is nothing but a particle. Dispersing medium. That means you are adding these particles, dispersing phase in the medium. That means I am adding particles to the water. Not exactly water, but assuming here. Got it? So now let us see which dispersed phase when we add in medium, what type of solution I get. Combination of these phases and medium will give a type of solution and examples of those colloidal solution. First one, liquid in gas. Again I will tell here now, I have a gas, right? I am adding 2 spoons of liquid in it. That means what do I get? I get aerosol. So aerosol is something. Now air means what? Air means it is gases. Sol means what? It is solution. Liquid, solution, gas is air. So combination of a liquid and gas, that is liquid in gas, we get aerosol. Examples of aerosol here in this form. Liquid in gas form, aerosol example is fog, clouds, mist. Things are a bit complex here to understand, but try to understand that in depth by visualizing, imagining these things, right? Again I go with it. See here, because second one is also aerosol, but second one examples are different. Second one phase and medium is different. So in exam if they ask you, give an example for liquid in gas. Give an example of a colloidal solution where liquid in gas, solid in gas, gas in liquid. Such examples will be asked. There you should know what is, if which phase is added to which medium, what is the type of colloidal obtained and examples of those colloidal state. So again, liquid in gas we get aerosol. Fog you all must have seen, right? That means it is in gaseous form. Simple, leave fog. If you sneeze, what happens if you sneeze? Small droplets are spread in air. Got the example? So that means in air, small water droplets are there. Simple, if I sneeze, what happens? Water droplets will spread in the air. That is how viruses are spreaded, right? So that is the meaning of aerosol. That is the meaning of your fog, cloud and mist because of liquid in gas, aerosol. Got it? In all atmosphere, small water droplets. Next one, solid in gas. So in a gas, we are adding 2 spoons of solid. What do we get? There also we get aerosol. What can be the example of aerosol there? Now again it is gas only. I am adding some solid. Example is here, see, smoke. Why aerosol? Because combination of a solid and a gas here. Now whole gas is there. Smoke, there are some dust particles. That's an example. Automobile exhaust. Though it is in the form of a smoke, it has some solid particles in it. Got it? So example of solid in gas is again a aerosol. Example, smoke, automobile exhaust, etc. Next, gas in liquid. I have a liquid, adding 2 spoons of gas in it. So what do I get? Foam. Example is shaving cream. Let me explain you why shaving cream. Liquid form and the gaseous form. Now, what happens exactly in the shaving cream? So when you take a shaving cream on your finger, or when they use shaving cream for shaving, when they just rub it, a lather like thing is produced, right? That lather is actually puffed. See, initially that shaving cream is packed in one tube, but when we rub that, more amount of lather is produced, bubble is produced, what I can tell. That means its volume is increasing. Am I right? That is why foam I talk about here. Here what has happened? In liquid, gas is added. That is why it is puffed. That is why it is increasing. Foam. How is foam actually? How is a lather we get when we wash our clothes or soap or shampoo when we use? That is why example of that is foam here. Liquid in liquid. Now in liquid I add liquid. Here I get, and that we don't call it as a liquid again. We call that as a emulsion. Now where have you heard this name emulsion? If you have heard about painting, when we talk about you've seen advertisements, right? Tractor emulsion paint. Yes, that is an example for emulsion here. That is why we call that as a emulsion. Liquid is mixed in liquid. Example can be milk. Example can be face cream. Okay. Now face cream is different from shaving cream. Face cream will not give me lather. That is why face cream will not come in that. Next example here is solid in liquid. I have liquid. I am adding 2 spoons of solid in it. What am I getting? Sol. Combination of solid and liquid. Examples of sol is milk of magnesia and mud. Milk of magnesia is used as an antacid. What is an antacid? Used during acidity. So whenever we take an antacid tablet, sometimes or medicine, milk of magnesia is actually the content of it. So mud. Now mud, when we talk about, it's not the soil. Now for example, if somewhere nearby to your place, if they have digged the borewell, you think, what type of mud you get? Sticky mud you get, right? Though it is not solid, though it is not liquid, right? But it is still a combination of a solid and liquid. Got it? Milk of magnesia and mud. Then next is gas and solid. I have a solid. I have this much of solid. I am adding 2 spoons of gas in it. Example again is foam. Now here, this foam and this foam is different. This foam was with shaving cream, lather, where it was increasing, volume was increasing. This foam is an example of actual foam, what we use in sofa, or we call it as a sponge, rubber, etc. Actually what is happening, now see for example, if you take a sponge, you can compress it. We studied that in the first chapter. Why? Because they have many pores in them, they have many holes in them, air gaps in them. Where it is filled with gases, we can say, when we compress it, again we can release it. That is why foam is an example of gases in solid. That means in a solid, there are small holes, small pores which are filled with gases. That is why we are able to compress it. Example, foam, rubber, sponge, pumice. Pumice is a type of a stone which is very porous. So though it is a stone, a very lightweight stone which again have many pores in them. That is why example of gases in solid. Next one, liquid in solid. That means I have a solid, I am adding little bit 2 spoons of liquid in it. What do we get? Gel, right? So examples of gel could be jelly, cheese and butter. You all have seen cheese, you all have seen butter, you all have seen jelly, right? Though it is a solid, but still it is in the liquidish form. Last one, solid. In solid, we'll get solid sol. When we add solid to solid, how is it possible we add solid to solid? Yes, in colloidal form, it is possible. Example, colored gemstones, milky glass. So these are the examples of solid in solid called as solid sol. If you observe the colored gemstone, you can see some granules like particles in them, right? That is nothing but combination of solid in solid. So actually, if I ask you what are the examples of colloidal solution, all these are examples of colloidal solution, irrespective of what phase and medium they are. But particularly if they ask you what is the phase and medium, for example, give an example of colloidal solution of solid and gas. That's all will be asked. You should be writing. You can write aerosol and then write smoke, automobile or exhaust. Why? Because aerosol could be this also, or directly you can write this. Yes. So this is about types of mixtures. When we talked about, we spoke about true solution, we spoke about colloidal solution and suspension. We completed this part here about the properties of these mixtures, right? So our next class will be on, now these mixtures are there, impure substance are there, how do we separate them? What are the different methods of separation? So we have like filtration, magnetic separation, centrifugation, or you can say distillation, fractional distillation. So there are chromatography method. There are several other methods of separating these impure substances. One by one we will be starting from our next class. So in today's class, if you have any doubt, you can call on the same day of the video set. Thank you.